Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Heroine Talk Show. I am your host, Emma Ansa, and we are here with my co-host and beautiful, esteemed colleagues.
Heidi Gisola Ativa, it's a pleasure to be here.
Of course, Reverend Blessing Ajayi. Hype up.
Hype up, she said. And today we're going to be talking about the burning hot topic, redefining success. What does that really mean? I know for me personally, success can be in so many different ways, shapes, and fashions. But we're going to get into this topic and really break it down. So with that, we're going to start with the very first question that I want to ask my esteemed colleagues, which is, when you hear the word success, what does that really mean? And what's the first thing that comes to mind?
So, I'm of the opinion that you need to hone your success. It can't be defined by anyone around you but yourself. We've had, parents living their lives through their children. We've heard, looking at your colleagues and you're defining success by them. You look at your friends, what they're doing. But to really have peace of mind, and that's really what it's all about, to really have peace of mind and be able to stand on your 2 feet and confident in yourself and your ability, I feel success should be defined and owned by you.
So essentially you're saying you literally are the owner.
That's it.
And you are responsible for navigating what success means to you.
Absolutely.
What about you, Sister Blessing? Tell us, what do you think?
Yeah, as the heroine, I would say that success means different things to different people. For me personally, becoming success is not about you achieving all the whole thing in the world or being wealthy. My definition of success first is finding your place in your calling, in your purpose in life, by discovering your divine call.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you will find yourself at the place of peace and rest. That means whatever you do, whether by making money, whether by worldly things or spiritual things, you achieve them in a place of peace and rest. Meaning you're not struggling, you're not trying to fight with anybody, you're not pressuring yourself. Right. But it comes just because God has given you the abundance of His wealth. And you are now in a place of enjoying them.
Right.
There is a certain point in our lives that we are in the process, we are in a place of processing. Like you're working in process to work towards those things. Then you now come to a place where you have now gathered all of them together. And then you are serving the Lord, enjoying those joy and the peace of God around you. That's success for me.
And I really love that, because as somebody who also is a believer of God and spiritual, and I put God first in everything, that I do, I love that you said that. But I'm going to throw a curveball. Was there ever a time where there was a turning point in how you redefined that success? So we've talked about us being responsible for our success, and it's within us, but was there ever a time that it kind of just turned on its head for you? And you were like, wait a second, I have to redefine what success is.
So I'll take that. In our first episode, I did mention, I spoke about the story of the 26-year-old, and I told you that was me. So when I finished high school, I did want to pursue higher learning, but I was kind of disappointed in the system, and so I took a backseat. I decided I was going to work. But my father kept pressurizing me to give it another go. But, I asked him the question. I said, if I go back to school, what will I do after school? And he said, you're going to work. I said, but I'm working now, right? But I didn't know, 18, 19, kind of in your way. You think you know everything. I didn't know that working with your high school diploma and working with your university degree or college degree is different.
Right.
And so something happened. I lost a job. And I felt, big deal. I'm just going to put my resume together. I have all this experience. I'll get a job. And everywhere I go, I was told, you have the experience, but we need people that can think on their toes, not just follow the
cookie cutter
right, approach.
Yeah.
And I was rejected. And I told myself, never again.
Right.
That was when I realized that the success I thought I had, working in the bank, looking pretty, wearing nice clothes, wearing high heel, was not really success.
Right.
And so I went back to school. I told myself, never again. And what I could have done in, maybe 4 years, 6 years, it took me, I started studying back when I was 24, and I did not stop studying until I was 49.
Well, because sometimes it's, I love that you said that, because I do think, especially when it comes to the workplace, because I know for me, my degree was in finance, and I wanted to be an accountant, and I was sure that was going to be my life. I was going to be an accountant, and I was going to work my way up to being a CFO and all of that. But in thinking that's what you're good at, and you're going with what you're good at, and you don't have that passion, and you end up following that whole cookie cutter thing. But a lot of organizations look for more than just you're good at what you do. Are you the right fit? Are you a team player? Do you get along? What are your interpersonal skills? And then through that, you may find out that this isn't really my passion. And you end up going back to school like you. And for me, after being in accounting since 1997, it's only like over the past 3 years that I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be a journalist. I want to be a public relations consultant. So I went back to school for PR, and through that I was able to be blessed with journalist work. So I totally can resonate with that. Sister Blessing, tell us, when was that turning point for you?
Okay.
Where you felt like you had to
I'm becoming
redefine.
very emotional again, because
And that's
my mind
okay.
is just running through. Right. I like to bring something to the table that we touch every lives and bring you back to where you're coming from. You're talking about how at a point when we had that turning point. For me, growing up, I come from a wonderful family. Like, we are hype up in what we can do, and seeing our parents doing great things, we learn from them, right? At the other episode, I shared about how, having a dream as a child, and it seems as if something just happened that you can't explain. You don't know things that your parents go through. What they went through, and then suddenly, it's like the dream want to be shattered.
Yeah.
At that point, I look at a great man, a man that have voice. Well, he still have voice, but the one thing was vulnerable that cut off, that bring the person down. And I learned so very hard on that from my parents.
So I have a question. When that happened to your father, how did it change? How he even defined success? And how did that affect you all?
No, actually, it doesn't affect. The only thing I saw there right now growing up, my father is a very strong man. He still maintained his position.
Wonderful.
The fact that he loses what he got, does not break him.
Oh,
He just
that's
move him from one point to another.
So that was the example that was set.
On my point is that me moving from where I was to where I don't used to be made a very big difference in my life that tells me that, look, success is not about being here. You can be here and nobody can bring you down because you own it. You talk about owning it.
Right.
But at that point, it was not owning the centerpiece of what he got. So any trigger can drop.
Right.
And you land back to where you were. I learned it as a child.
Yeah.
And I made a decision to be focused.
Yes.
To take all the impact and values they put on me. And I saw my parent growing up and the enemy fighting him.
Yeah.
Because people, I come this, I know somebody there will get this.
Yeah.
Right? So this is what gives me the grace, holding on God and asking God, no, I don't want to be there.
Right.
At that point, I choose to look at the things that will better my future.
Right.
Okay, so at the point that and I realized that, one, education is very important. I choose, even when it becomes very difficult, like you were talking about the things you study. I wanted to be, like Oprah has always been my, my model, right from when I was a child.
Yeah.
And then I want to do mass communication, I want to be a journalist at the same time, but I couldn't get the cutoff point. You know how they do it back home. So I had then I went to Polytechnic. I read finance. Then from there I went to the university to make up to get another degree, but not the mass communication and journalism that I wanted, because I want to be a lawyer and I want to do media.
Right.
But all those things failed. Right. But that doesn't stop my dreams.
You did not let it stop you.
I refused to.
And here we are today.
Exactly.
See.
And that's
So following it.
That's the example your father set, though, as well.
And my father kept telling me,
Yes.
this is who you become. Even up till now, before he died, he said he wished I'm a lawyer because I like to fight small.
Yeah.
But very peaceful. So what are we saying? At that point, I choose that no, I have to make something straight. So that's why my brand is royalty.
I love it.
So everything I build around me is royalty. So it gives you a center focus and align you to what you pursue, your dream, your vision. Then asking God to help you.
Yes.
Right. And so do you redefine the success that the world defined for you.
Right.
You redefine the success that your background defined for you. You redefine the success that your generation, you know what they call generation?
Yeah.
There are some generations in that you cannot be at the point you should be.
Right.
But you say no, because God did not say so. What did God say you should do? God said you should work out, focus on me, ask anything in my name, you become. So I'm talking to somebody out there.
Yes.
In case you think that, all your family are very poor, they cannot enjoy this. Who told you that? You can make the change when you hold on God, the one that has all the power to support you beyond your imagination or contemporaries. You can do it. Tell yourself you can do it. Trust me.
Absolutely.
You will own the world.
And that's really it. It's having that faith in God and putting God first in everything that you do. Seek God for every decision that you're making in life, and you cannot go wrong. I'm a firm believer in that as well. I think what you two have offered is just amazing gems. And like you said, Sister Blessing, there are people out here that can resonate with everything that we're saying. And there is a quote that I love to live by, and it's not what happens when you get knocked down, it's what you do when you get back up. And so you are in charge, as this lovely sister has said, are in charge. The success is within you. And it is your right, and is your honor, and is your privilege to keep forging forward. And you define your success. If you're not happy with what you were doing, you can, it's never too late. If you have to go back to school, pave your way. You make your life, and you make it what it is. Because we only have one life to live. And we have to make it count.
Yeah, can I add to that? I always say that life is too short. It doesn't matter how we look at it.
Yes.
Right? You don't want to stay in a stressful career, a stressful relationship.
Exactly.
Don't wanna stay in
Exactly.
any
Nobody
stress.
wants to do that.
It's not wanted.
And stress is not good for your
being
health.
reduced to nothing.
Yeah.
And you
Exactly.
believe that.
Making believe that you're not enough.
Exactly.
We are more than
You
enough.
Your success. Because
Do you hear?
are
This
enough.
is what we're saying. We are empowering. Okay?
You must not be a
And-
perfect person.
No, but you can be flawsome.
Yes.
So you could be flawless and awesome at the same time. And we call it blossom. There's the word of the day, family.
I'll add one to that. I use amazing and awesome. How's amazing?
Oh, I love that. Oh, you see, there's two for you, family. Blossom and was it? Amazing. There you go. So with that, we're going to take a short break and we will be right back.
See you guys.
Welcome back to the Heroine Show. We were talking about redefining success, and we are going to continue with this topic. And with that, we're going to dive into the next question, which is, when you think about success, what are some of the challenges that we face as it relates to the societal challenges? What do you think about that? I know for me personally, I feel like as a woman and a Black woman, we're already about to face some challenges. And we have to overcome hurdles. We have to work twice as hard to be able to earn the same salary, let's say, as a man who's equally as qualified as we are. We're equally as qualified as he may be. But yet somehow we still face more challenges. We face challenges with them not wanting to take us seriously in the workplace. We face challenges with them not really listening to us or taking our advice or our counsel, and even sometimes with our husbands. I'll say it. Sometimes my husband doesn't listen to me. So,
Okay. Can I say something there? This is what I actually wanted to establish as a person. Actually, I don't see the difference between Black and white in this place.
really?
Yes, you know
Do
why?
tell.
No, let me tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And this is what has helped me. You see, and that is why that's why all of this thing is happening right now, because we want to bring the heroine within us. We have great strength, passion than any other person, but we don't see it. So I just want to say that I don't want them to take me in their job. I want to take them into our job. What I'm saying that is that if we stand as the color and do things to establish it, so that these people or whoever, whether Black or white, will come to us, will come to you, that you can able to offer them something. We are not minority in our mindset.
In our mindset, we're
Yes,
not.
we
But
are not.
in the reality of the
So
world.
that was how we begin to now make things to happen.
But how do you do that?
By doing what we are doing now.
Yeah, we're doing that now.
Nobody
but,
stop us.
Right, so you're basically saying then you have to build it yourself.
Like
Because-
we are building it together.
Right, but if you were not building it, what would your challenge be? Are you facing any
No,
challenges?
I'm not even saying
when
that
you're not-
challenge now. I'm saying that I have learned not to put my challenge on somebody because they don't do it. I'm facing the challenge.
Can I
So
add
one of my challenge when it comes to redefining success is not about me not getting it from someone. It's about, for example, now the pressure that women take on my own perspective is a father when you say that, one, all the pressure are being put on you, right? But depends on how you take it. Well, if I know that I don't have any hair, what do? I have to see how can I do? Where can I start? How we handle this pressure, and not putting ourselves as women as far we should be in a place where we can get the things we want to get, no matter the pressure. But then at the same time, being able to know that we are just human beings. Another thing that came to my mind again is, when you you are in competition, right? You know, it affects women a lot when it comes to redefining success. You are at a place, at a point, work from there. For example, let's say now you are working for somebody's office. Definitely the person that owns the office has gone a long way to get that established, right? But for me, what I will learn is I want to be employer like the person someday, probably by learning in the process. Though, because I'm working under somebody, that means the person owns me by deciding what I have to do.
See, I don't agree with the word own.
No. What I mean own is that, of course, when you have this, I own this, right?
Yes.
And I say today, I don't want you to sit here, I want to take this. That means I own this thing.
Right.
And I have decided not to sit down there.
Let's hear from Lady Abba. I'm really curious.
No, but do you agree with me?
No,
not really. No, but we can come back. Let's hear from what Lady Abba has to say.
I think the difference here is when you are in a work setting.
Yes.
Right? It's quite different.
It is
So
different.
my mentality is not like, okay, what I see that is that you guys probably, this heroine, like you guys are working a setting where maybe, I don't know, but...
Well, you said you have not.
I
so
have,
you don't have
don't
that
even
lived
want
experience.
I
so.
don't even want to. You know why? Because I knew things like that will come.
So
that's my point.
So that is why I am not seeing it in that way.
Okay,
right.
So let me have.
I don't know, but
let me ask
maybe
this
I'm just.
conversation. No, and that's true. You know, if you.
But you're right to not see it that way because you haven't lived that experience. So.
Not meaning, it doesn't mean that the area that I am working, that they may not have the sentiment about that. Mm-hmm. I refuse to take it. You know why? I'm talking on my own perspective. Yeah. Because definitely, like I told even my kids, when this thing does not belong to you, and the person can want to treat it anyhow. But if it's something that you resonate with it, you can make a decision. So that is why we, we have to come to a point.
But that doesn't mean you didn't go through a challenge. So we're talking about
I do, but I want to say that not just us.
So,
but that is true.
Everybody.
But when we're talking about, I'm sorry, Lady Abba. I'm sorry.
Because I don't want
you know what? Let's hear from Lady Abba.
I don't want us to glue it on us.
But it's a reality. But we'll get back to that.
No, let's not make it that.
Okay, so
we can't ignore that it exists because it does.
But everybody.
But let's hear from Lady Abba.
You're right.
Because when you do it like that, it's like, because actually the redefining the challenges, not just us.
Well, I mentioned two things though. I said a woman and a woman of color. There are two challenges there. But let's hear from Lady Abba.
I want to take this away from even living in Canada. So, for instance, I was not black until I came to Canada.
This is true.
Okay, so I mean,
What were you?
No,
do people call me black in Nigeria?
I don't know. I don't even know the difference.
And she's making a very good point because when we're in Africa,
people don't call me black.
No,
they say black woman in
really,
Nigeria.
they do that here.
But
that's what she's saying when she got to Canada.
They do it here. You're a black woman here.
Yes.
But I was not a black woman in Nigeria. But what I'm saying is, I preface my contribution with that. But let's even stay in Nigeria, for instance, because that's where I was born, right? Mm-hmm. As a woman working in Nigerian economy, am I not,
a Nigerian?
No. In Nigeria, are people not
identify as black?
No. So the word literally escaped my mind right now.
Okay.
But a woman is always a woman and a man will always be a man. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Even in the Nigerian setting, men don't tend to take women seriously. And this is just Africans, Nigerians, right? They don't take us seriously. There are times that they'll tell you, your space is in the kitchen. And they don't like it when a woman stands up for herself and speaks up for herself. Oh,
That's true.
I've watched a movie before where somebody said, "Oh, how many children does she have? 2. No wonder she has time. Let her husband go and give her 4 more. She will be busy." So do you get what I mean? Now you bring that into a space where it's not Africa. Whether we like it or not, that is there. The fact that you are an African, or even, to your point, an Indian, to your point, an indigenous, you're seen as different. It excavates the entire thing.
Yes,
it's no longer about being a woman. It's now about being a woman of color.
Yes.
It's now about being black. And there was something I always say
that's really serious.
Well, think about it. How many times do we hear the first black woman too, the first black woman too, the first black man too?
So I'm still feeling that we need to do more, probably, because as an immigrant, I'm still saying, what more can we do? For example, what more can we do?
Let me finish my line of thought. So people come in, especially people that come in with PR, for instance. The system tells them you're good enough to come because you have your skills, you have your experience, you have your education. But that's just way hence. The minute you step in, you realize that you're not good enough for anything, except maybe factory job or entry-level jobs.
Really?
Now layer that with being a woman. You see, being a woman, there's so many, and then layer it with being black.
Yes.
And that's why I don't allow people call me black. I tell people I'm African.
Yeah,
really, they do.
That's what I tell people. I am African. They don't normally call people brown or pink. They say Indian, they say indigenous, they say Chinese.
Yeah.
So why am I black? I choose who I need
We've
to
got
be.
them white too now.
And why?
No, but how many people really call that? I'm just saying. We talked about choosing your own success. I choose to be called Adejisola.
Yes.
And people have told me, can I call you Ade? It is misogyny, it's racism. You don't tell me what you want to call me because that's not my name.
And why do you think tokenism exists? It's because you're the one black person, and sometimes it's for optics. And as a journalist, I can tell you, I report on so many stories of women of color and not of color, like women, white women, black women, who say there is a disparity when it comes to women. And that is a challenge that we continue to face. Even when you talk about women in film, there are a lot of women who talk about how, you go for an audition and it's the same group of women for every single audition because...
And when they eventually pick you, what they're going to pay you is a far cry.
Exactly. We've heard
people.
from Taraji P. Henson talking about how, how little money she
ever got paid big was with Tyler Perry.
For $500,000. And she's a beautiful, accomplished actor, right?
One of the things I tell people is that as an African, whether women or man, we stand out in crowd, but we're not seen.
Let's talk about how they say somebody like Meryl Streep, they say that Viola Davis is she's the black Meryl Streep.
How is that even possible?
I rest my case.
So, in essence,
yes.
My mentality is quite different because, where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I don't want to build on what they say, how they think about me, but what should I do differently to change that narrative?
And
that's I know all those things is true.
Yes.
Definitely, and it will continue to be. If we don't do something.
This is what we're doing.
This is what we are doing.
That is the whole point of this discussion.
So we have to, not just to talk, it's time to take action.
But we are.
It's time to build, not just us, people out there, those who hear us, those who think that they are not good enough. They don't have anything to have offer. And, we will keep walking and walking and walking and not getting it if we don't understand the Father. It's time for us now to build
and
accept each other.
And you're so right. And I really want to do a shout out to everyone out there in the community doing amazing things.
Yes.
We are taking action.
Yes.
We are doing
Applause.
amazing things. We need more people to
We
do
need
amazing
more.
things, because the more, the merrier. The more our children are able to see role models, they're able to believe in themselves.
Exactly.
And in our first edition, I need you to really watch it. We did say that what you speak out of your mouth to your children
very
matters.
important.
Don't bring them down, because that's not what they need, especially in this community.
It is about positive affirmations. That's what it is about.
Yeah.
And that was a really interesting conversation, right? Like,
thank you so
we
much.
We weren't completely agreeing here and there, but I think that's what it's about, right?
It's all about
we have these discussions and we share our insight. And with that, we're going to talk about somebody who is our heroine of the week.
Absolutely. Who do we have?
We have Rochelle Bush. Rochelle Bush is the resident historian in the Niagara region. Listen, let me tell you guys, this woman is a force in the Niagara region. She works at the Salem Chapel BME, or Salem BME Chapel, whichever way you want to say it. And this is the church where Harriet Tubman worshiped. And Harriet Tubman was responsible for bringing a bunch of freedom seekers through the Underground Railroad, and they settled in St. Catharines for a period of time. And she has self-guided tours there. She does amazing lectures, and she provides the history. And the history, which a lot of people don't know about in the Niagara region, is vast of Black history. There are so many freedom seekers that were made indelible contributions in the Niagara region through building homes, and she was responsible for bringing them through. They worshiped there. She did a lot of aboriginal work there, and Rochelle Bush is a pillar of knowledge. The first time I attended one of the open houses at the church, I was blown away by this woman and everything that she was telling us about. And I've been living in Niagara for, at that point, it was around 10 years, and I didn't even know all of what she was telling me. And in that church, on the higher level, they actually have the pews that Harriet Tubman worshipped in.
Wow.
So when you go up to that level and you sit there, it is a feeling that overcomes you.
Yeah.
I literally was weeping when I was up there.
How
you
old
could
is she now?
feel it.
How old?
Who, Rochelle?
Like approximately, like.
I think she's probably in her mid-40s. She's still fairly young. Yeah,
Thank you,
she's
Rochelle.
Rochelle Bush,
We appreciate you.
She is amazing.
We're empowered.
We appreciate you. We really celebrate you, Rochelle Bush. And if anybody's interested in going on this tour, go to tubmantours.ca and you can book a tour, get a busload of people. I promise you will not be disappointed in everything that you will learn and see there.
I am definitely going to do that when
must.
next I go to Niagara. Can you imagine I've been going to Niagara and I did not even know.
I was
Maybe we'll
living
go on
there.
a trip one of these days.
Yes,
and then
yes.
just
We
visit.
must book a trip.
Yeah.
It is well worth it. I'm telling you, it is amazing.
Thank you, Rochelle Bush.
God
Thank
bless
you, Rochelle. So, final thoughts, ladies. Final thoughts. Is there anything that you want to say that's a small victory? A small victory that you celebrated recently that made you feel successul?
Seriously, I'm a success. I mean,
I know you are.
I know where I'm coming from. You know, you got to be able to look back and say, where have I been, right? And, you know, when we started this journey, we know it's not going to be easy, but we decided we're going to take the next step after the next step after the next step. And that's what I want everybody listening to us to know. You know, it doesn't matter how difficult it will get difficult. Life is, our fingers are not the same. Life will be difficult, but it is how you take it that matters. Do you want to stay in that place and say, oh, sorry me? No. Or do you want to take that next step? To get to that success, to how you define success for yourself. So I'll say don't stay there. You did mention about falling. It's in the Bible. It's not how many times you fall, but how many times you're able to get up.
And what you do when you get up.
And when you get up, make sure you learn from your fall.
Make it count. Yes.
You're going to learn from your fall, right?
That's right.
So you can fall 7 times. Get up, man. And do it. Do it again. And believe you me, success will be yours. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you so much. Like you said,
Reverend Blessing.
I really appreciate this discussion. It reminds us where we come from and where we are going. And like we know, success is a journey. I call it a process.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think you're already there, but things become difficult and you are wondering why. And I realized that it's just a process.
Yeah.
And you must go through it to get to that power.
Trust the process. You got to trust the process.
Yes, and be able to gather the power together. It's not a destination, it's a path that winds ups and down. It twists, right? But at each of the going, take a step and keep drawing closer and closer to that which you have. I would say, by the grace of God, I always use my parents.
Yeah.
My father's experience has already been like a landmark for us as a family. And that's why we are very bonded in my family.
Yeah.
Teaching each other and keeping focus.
Yeah.
It's actually brought me and my sibling where we are today. It's just the beginning. We have not started yet.
Yeah.
But it tells me that you can do all things.
Absolutely.
If you trust in yourself, trust in God.
Oh, yes.
My parent experience, even they already forgot. The little one that I know, that little one that I always say here, and I will keep saying it, referring you guys to look back and see where God can bring you. You can redefine your success, right? So, having said that, success is something you see, what you believe, and how you can own it. So make sure that your dream, don't drop it. It doesn't matter the challenges. Make sure that you keep, don't allow anybody to talk you down. Believe in God. God is the power, is the key power of everything. If you trust Him, you will get it. So I just want to encourage you. For me, I would say that God answers all my prayers. All the successes I am now, it's not easy. We are still rolling with God by our side. But trust me, the bigger, the better. As we are going, we get crocky, but then God making it smoother every day. So I want to encourage you. Success is life, and life is God. When life is in you, God will be in you. Trust Him and don't fail. Don't fail God. Don't fail God. Have faith. Have faith. Pray. Most of the success people, we are prayer warriors. The heroines, you see them, they can count their blessing as much as possible. But if they tell you the story behind it, you will say, oh, I don't think I can do this. We are doing it.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Can I just add one more thing before you take over, Emma? Coca-Cola, the company Coca-Cola, when it started, they only sold 5 bottles in their first year.
Wow.
Yes.
5 bottles in their first year. So why am I saying this? At times we're in a career, we're in a space that we feel this is it, this is do or die. There's nothing that is do or die. You need to know when to push, when to change lane,
And when to pivot, all of that.
right? And when to let go. BlackBerry did not pivot. I love them to bits.
They rested on their laurels for too long.
It took me so much to change from BlackBerry to Samsung.
I was a die-hard BlackBerry, but they rested on their laurels, and they allowed Samsung and Apple and Google, all of these people,
to pass them.
Yeah.
And here they are today. So don't rest on your laurels. It's so important. Thank you.
Yes, and that's what it boils down to, is that, you just keep forging on, and you do not take no for an answer.
Nope.
It's what you do. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It's what you do when you get back up. And what I will also add is consistency. is consistency. You can be doing something and you could be passionate about it and you may not be getting the result you want right away, but you just have to keep pushing and do not allow that to discourage you.
And I want to say something for those who you define to be doing well. They work very hard, and sometimes it's not in the eyes that you see. Sometimes they work in the midst of nothing.
Yeah.
Right? And you have your plenty, but you are not putting it right. So I think we should all go back and redefine it so that we can get it. So thank you.
There you have it. You heard from the heroines.
And then the heroines say,
but before this, I just want to encourage the viewers to share your stories. Tell us about your success stories and how you define success. And we're going to also close off for today. We're going to thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to say, don't forget to embrace the heroine and the hero in you.
Mwah.